Right, welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lockdown Live with the Voiceover Academy. Cotsy bringing you the Voiceover Academy, bringing you Lockdown Live here. Yes, my name is Sean Shobo. I happen to be the team lead at the Voiceover Academy. Maybe tomorrow another person, maybe Femi Biggs or Morenike would maybe be hosting you. You never know. But for today, let's do this together. Today, I'm having somebody who is very dear to my heart. Apart from the fact that she's a professional, she's my sister, somebody I respect a lot. We're going to be having a great time together. You know, she's the head brands and marketing communications. Yes, she just joined us now. Tolu Ijogun. Amazing. A lot of you, some of you know her, but the truth is, you don't know her like that, but you know her, right? All right, so I'm going to add her up right now. All right. Come on now.
How you doing?
Hey, mama. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You know, you're the only one that can make me come online.
Honestly, I'm the only one.
You're the only one. Oh.
How you doing now?
I'm good, thank you.
How's the isolation? How's that going?
Me, I'm enjoying the isolation.
I can imagine.
I'm resting.
I can imagine, right?
Much needed rest. Yeah, much needed.
Good to have you here. Okay, so guys, as I've said before, from church, or you've probably been touched by her fiery, preaching and all, but yeah, this is another part of her. In case you don't know, she's worked with agencies. She's also managed a lot of brands. I know there was a time she was managing Lucozade Sports. There was a time she also worked with GT Bank, brand management position there. Also, I remember Domino's. Yes, there was a time he managed food concepts, marketing, communications, and right now she's the head brand and marketing communications, FSDH group. Man, that's massive, guys. Massive. Okay, yes. So, yes, we're going to be talking to her about voiceovers and the place of voiceovers when it comes to brands, and of course, what brands expect from voice talents, basically. Probably not directly, but maybe indirectly, but what they expect, what clients see when it comes to brands. Okay, so I have a couple of questions here already for
awesome.
You, but there's some people that would please feel free to ask questions as we go on. Please feel free to ask questions. I know a lot of people are going to be joining us as soon as we go. Okay, so somebody says here that from your perspective as head brand marketing strategy and communications, what constitutes a well-rounded voiceover work or brief? What constitutes that?
I think the first thing is for the voiceover agency to understand the brand itself, the company that is asking for work. Who they are, who they're trying to target, because briefs can be interpreted in different ways depending on who you're speaking to. So for me, I would expect my agency to have done their background work on who my company is and what we're trying to achieve.
Fantastic.
And when interpreting my brief, they're doing it from a perspective that would help me reach my target audience the best way possible, and can relate that brand personality, because different brands have different personalities. So you have to understand my brand personality and try to relate it through voiceover. So that is one key thing that I would say.
So the agency itself must understand the brief. That's what you're saying here. To be able to. Okay, fantastic. But when you talk about, do you believe that? Because people say that, and that's the truth. But let's hear your school of thought when it comes to the fact that brands have voices. They have like a tone of voice.
Definitely.
What is your take on that?
That's very true. Like I just said, different brands have different personalities. There's the fun personality, the intellectual personality, the sophisticated personality. So any agency must first do the background work to understand the personality of the brand that's asking for work to be done, and then try to interpret their tone of voice by the personality. So I do believe that every brand has its own voice and its own personality, and that has to relate from the messages that come out from the brand.
All right, great. Okay, how do you think voiceover talents can serve brands better? You know, what are the things that you feel that they should do? Okay, so let's take, for example, you give an agency a job, or and they call some voice talents. What are the things that you expect, you know, from them, basically?
I think for me, more than anything else, is clarity, not phonetics, if that makes any sense. Because you know, we've worked together a couple of times, and you sent me a bunch of different voices.
Right.
And first of all, I'm looking for obviously the voice that relates my brand personality one. Then a voice that's clear enough that would people can understand. Because even when you listen to radio these days, sometimes I don't understand half the stuff they're saying, because they're trying so hard to speak in some kind of accent that does not communicate. And the first thing for voiceover is communication. So I think the most important thing to me first is clarity of voice. You have to understand exactly what you're saying, and then obviously the inflections and intonations where it is needed, because obviously there are going to be some words that are more important than others that have to be related or communicated properly. So all the phone is not 10. It's like 3. Clarity and communication is 10 for me. I think that's the most
clarity,
important
not
thing.
politics. Because a lot of people, but what do you say about people that feel that, you know, brands are really all about that, you know? Because it's and honestly, let me not put it this way, but the truth is, a lot of media houses put it that way, like this is what the brands want, right? But as a brand manager, you telling us that is very important. But how can you emphasize more on this phonetics versus communication or clarity thing?
You know, at the end of the day, it's about communication. If you cannot communicate, you've lost it. It is good when there is clarity and phonetics. Phonetics is an addendum. It's not the main, if that makes any sense. Added value. And these days, being Nigerian, most of the Nigerian companies are very, very proud to be Nigerian. We want to put out a nice, clear Nigerian accent. And a nice, clear Nigerian accent doesn't necessarily have to have phonetics in it. And sometimes, you know, when you're trying too hard, it comes across in anything you do. When you begin to try too hard, it comes across. It's not natural, so it becomes synthetic. It's not real. And one thing that brands want to be seen as is real and authentic. Not so it's not about synthetic, it's about being authentic. So you have to be authentic in the way you speak. Clarity. Yeah, you can have one or two little, you know, but it's not about that. It's about just being clear. I think that is being authentic. Because when a naturally born or someone who's lived abroad speaks, you hear it's natural. When somebody's trying so hard to communicate in that way, it then becomes a bit fake, and it defeats the purpose entirely. And I'm carried away by the movement. I don't hear anything you're saying again. I'm thinking, what's going on? Which is not the most important thing, you know? So clarity is important.
Clarity is important. Very great point there. Very, very great point. Clarity is important when communicating for a brand. Okay, one of the things I would like to ask also is how important is a voice to a brand, right? How important is a voice to a brand? So we know that brands use visuals, brands use words, but voices. How important is a voice or voices to a brand?
I mean, voices. It's like singing. Voice is very important because, you know, you don't have to see a face of a person, but you can hear the voice of a person. You think, I want to know more about this person. I want to speak to this person more. Voice communicates. And voice communicates different types of emotions.
Right.
So it's important that for brands, when picking voices, you ensure that first of all, it's like I said, it is relaying your brand personality, it's communicating the emotions you're trying to give away. Some brands have said we are rulers. We want to be seen as rulers in the industry. So the way we speak must communicate authority. We want to be seen as your everyday neighborhood person. So the way we speak must be down to earth. So it stems from what the brand is trying to relay. And then it's important that the voice that is relaying it must be explicit to exactly what we're trying to put across. So voice is extremely important. It's important.
Voices. Please, if you have questions, please make sure you type it. You can type it here as we go on. As we go on now, please, if you have any questions, feel free to send us your questions. All right. Another question here is when it comes to agencies and voiceovers, agencies, brands, and voiceovers, why is it that brands want to get their job as fast as possible? You know, when it comes to that's a question here. Why is it that, man, guys, I want this in 24 hours. You know, most of the brands we work for at the Voiceover Bank, honestly speaking, we produce the jingles of 24 hours, 12 hours, 48 hours. Why does that happen?
You see, different companies have, things happen and things
different styles.
And the issue is, obviously, the first revert that comes from the agency might not be the final revert. And you know your timeline. So I would rather get my stuff ready well in time than be put under pressure. So anytime I give a brief, I definitely will cut it and say, I need my brief in 24 hours. I need my brief in 3 days. Although it's probably a 2-week timeline, but I know that when you give me the first revert, I'll say, no, I don't like this voice. Can I get this voice? Can we change the brief? Back and forth, approval. So you have to put in a lot of other things that happen before it then goes to, you know how it is in Nigeria, there's AFCON, there are different bodies that you must go to for approval.
Yeah, that you have to
and you have timelines to work with. So it's a norm. It's something that you're used to. And
so
that's
if you're
why
in this industry, it's something that
you have to be quick on your feet. You have to be ready. Because for those who are ready are the ones that are the most successful. And the same matter is, there are a lot of people who are in the same business are looking for the same opportunities. And so you want a reliable partner that you know that if I call in midnight, they can deliver, and they are reliable and they're always there. So I'm sorry, it's not going to change. It's going to continue.
Well, we are not complaining, but that was somebody's question here, and I just felt like, okay, yeah, we should ask it because a lot of times when you're at the academy, and you're telling people that we have practical sessions, and we tell people to go into the studio, and we say you have 15 minutes in the studio, and they're like, just 15 minutes. That's good. I'm like, if a client is here, you have to think on your feet, So I fully understand what you're saying. So one of the things you mentioned now, if you're just joining us, is she mentioned that clarity is very important to brands. Another thing she mentioned was the fact that if you're in this industry and you're complaining about sharp work, is going to be part of it. It is part of the industry. You must take it. It's one of the how do they put it? The risk that you have to take in.
Yeah,
it is part of it. It is part of it. Okay, then with this COVID-19 issue and the rest of things going on, what do you think that it's going to reduce budgets for things like voices and no, or they're going to need more services of voice talents? Let me tell you why. So, for example, you see things like people are doing more of e-learning materials. People are doing more of they're doing more things to communicate with voices, right? So, what do you see?
Well, first of all, I don't really know the extent of the voice industry, so I can't really speak from an informed place, saying understanding and these are different things that can be done with voice. But I know from a client perspective, budgets have definitely been cut because given the fact that the industry is down right now, oil is like $1 per barrel, a lot of stuff is happening. So most companies are trying to, get themselves together to at least plan for at least a good year or an okay year 2020, not expecting any profits at all, and then trying to plan for 2021. So I think it's also good for voice academies like yours to actually put out the different things that you guys actually do, because now there's going to be a lot of concentration on social media. I mean, most of my board members and bosses who are not on social media before are now on social media. So everybody's now looking at social media to find out what is going on. So yes, there are a lot of opportunities, but we also need to understand as a client different things the voice academies can do apart from radio, script, all these kind of things. If it is clear, definitely. I think it's more like branching out to different other channels of using voice. Definitely.
So you feel like there are other things that can happen, but definitely the budgets are gonna be.
No, for us, that's already been cut. It's not even going to do. They have slashed it straight that, you know what, guys, we have to be realistic. This is what's going on. So we can only do what is necessary. And that's what we're looking at right now.
But what for you as a brand manager, right, who has managed different brands, what do you think, how do you think a voice talent can project their voices better in terms of marketing themselves better? What are the things that you can suggest?
Show and tell. Show and tell is the best way to market yourself. You need to show what you can do. Put up stuff on your YouTube page or your Instagram page or social media. The videos like you spoke about, do your voiceovers, short videos, short infographics, radio ads. So really show and tell. And when you do stuff for brands, it's more emotive because you use, like, for example, you send me something with my brand name or FSDH, blah 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 blah. I'm thinking, I'm more inclined to listen to you. So first of all, targeting the right companies, knowing the gap within the companies from the outside, looking from the outside, and then sending the person in charge who can make decisions, some ideas on what you can do for them. And another thing that also works is working with a company. So it's not to go and say, this is my cost. It's to say, I know there's a lot of cutting right now in the industry. I'm ready to work with you. I'm ready to negotiate with you and do more like a long-term retainer with you. What can we, how can we work together? So, the client now feels, okay, these are people part of who want to help me win, and are ready to look for any kind of money to support, and at least everybody wants to look good. Every brand wants to look good. So it's about feeding the ego of the brand, saying we can make you look better. We can work within your partners. So definitely, there is a lot that can be done.
Fantastic. Okay. Another question I was going to ask is, how important is trust? Because one of the things that we teach at the academy is professionalism, as a voice actor or voice talent. And some people just feel like, what's this? And I always tell them that, see, a brand is not going to trust, a brand that cannot trust you will not work with you, So, for example, you just said something about show and tell. Some people can just get on Instagram now because they know about FSDH, or they just start tagging you. So, Ijogun, and I feel for me, that is not professional. That's not, so please, can you emphasize or expatiate on professionalism when it comes to the work you do, especially in this industry?
Because, like I said, there are a lot of agencies. A lot of people always stuff. I get a lot of emails, a lot of people doing stuff at the office and tags. And more than half of the time, I don't look at it. First of all, I am busy. So it's first trying to catch my attention. With email marketing, there's some mails that you just open because of the subject.
Yeah.
You also have to be creative because you're not the only person looking for what you're looking for. There's subject that, where have you been? Tolu, I've missed you. I'm thinking you miss. Who is this? I will now click and I'll see it's like a company. So you also have to be creative in the way you do stuff, and then also integrity in your material.
Right.
Because you now look at something and somebody has copied somebody and you're not the owner of the original idea, and then we're talking. My company is asking me, "Are you sure is this person's intellectual property?" And I cannot say yes or no. So trust is also important. So even me, when I get a lot of different ideas, it's more like, is this your idea? Where did it come from? Is this something that we can put our name on, and we're not going to be sued by anybody in the world? It's also being true to your own intellectual property, and also being creative about catching people's attention. If you are become if you become a pest, you just pack you, because there are plenty of them. And you don't want to be in the pool. Another thing that can help is going through somebody that the client knows. I have people send emails on LinkedIn saying, "Oh, hi, I know you don't know me, but I see that you know this person in your network. Do you mind introducing me to this person?" And then I look at the person's profile. I ask them, "Why do you want to be introduced?" And they, "Oh, this is what I do, blah blah blah." If I do know the person, I can call and say, "Oh, somebody's trying to be introduced to you. They do want to do for. Do you mind?" So and so that's also the fastest way to even get somebody's attention. If you go through somebody they know and they trust, they're more likely to listen to you as well. And okay, fine. Since this person recommended you, I don't know the person. No person send you a message on LinkedIn. No, I don't need the person. So you understand. But you also have to be creative in the way you try to get the client's attention. And once you get the attention, you need to prove yourself and show why you stand out.
So try to get the client's attention and show why you stand out, when you're doing these things. Fantastic. Okay, so another question is, what fascinates you the most about brand management? What fascinates you? For me, for example, with the work I do, one of the things that fascinates me the most is how you can the client gives you a brief, you come up with an idea, and it already becomes reality. You're already hearing on radio, and people are going on about it, on and on about it. But you just remember that it just came, just like you were just chilling in your office, and it just came like that. So that's one thing that fascinates. So what fascinates you the most about brand management? In all your years of
I think for me is the 360, because brand management, you manage a brand 360. So you manage media, if it's you manage cost, you manage distribution, you manage design, you manage taste, you manage a whole lot of things. So it's almost like creating a brand from scratch. And then seeing it come to life and seeing it do well and having extensions of the brand, I think is fascinating. And also understanding your target audience, psychology when it comes to advertising and marketing. Understanding how to speak to them, when to speak to them, what price point will them relate with them, how to position yourself to be able to get their attention, and them having ideas that then become big ideas. So I think it's a whole Proto 100. It's quite fascinating. And given that I've worked with electronic brands, food brands, FMCG, financial brands, all different brands, but it's still the same. It's still the same. What do you call it? It's the same process. A different industry was the same process. Just understanding the different industries, understanding the competition, and trying to be better than the next person with as little as no cost. But everybody does have money. All the companies have money.
No brand has money.
There's no money. So you have to be creative. You have to think on your feet. You have to come up with different ideas that are quite innovative, that will still give you the same output if you did have money. So it's really cool.
Somebody just asked here now that how do you know if your voice is, or if your voice is appropriate for your brand? If there's anything like that.
It's understanding the personality of the brand. So for example, if you're doing an ad for like a First Bank, there's the way you're going to be speaking, because I mean their logo is like an elephant, right? So I mean,
so you have to be bold.
Show that, and it'll be different when you're talking for like a GT Bank, because they're more chilled, more playful. So it comes from the personality of the brand. You have to understand who is this brand talking to? What are they? Who are they trying to attract? Why do they do the things they do? And then from understanding that, you understand how to then be the voice of that personality.
Wow, fantastic. Somebody's also mentioned here another question. Are there any provisions for royalties when it comes to working with brands, especially with voice?
Not
in Nigeria.
Not in Nigeria that I know of. as far as we're concerned, is once we pay you the bill that we've agreed, it's our property and we put it online. So I don't think we are at that level in Nigeria where we start about royalties. And even if we did, I don't really understand the modalities of that because that goes into law. And that's a legal thing altogether. But as it is now, the way the industry works is we speak to the agency, we agree a cost, we the finished work, and then we go for another approvals with AppCon. And then once AppCon approves and we pay for that, we then put it online. So yeah, right now, I don't think there are any modalities for that.
Well, actually, what obtains around the world is licensing, but it's not. The copyright laws of Nigeria has not been. It hasn't made it that useful. Yeah. So basically, sometimes what happens is you're supposed to maybe like license it for maybe like 6 months. Or this is going to be used for 6 months. After 6 months, if it's going to be used again for 1 year, you pay for 1 year. So majorly, that's how it's done around the world. But most times in Nigeria, because the copyright laws are weak, it's not yet. Well, okay. Somebody said, okay. Very illuminating perspectives on appropriate vocal energy and direction peculiar to each brand and recommended script. Okay, let me go for another question here. If budgets are specifically set aside for marketing and communications, what would an ideal contract look like for voice talents? Are there taxes or incentives inclusive? I think that is for the agency, not for that is for the agency, not for the client. But why do clients why do clients work with agencies? So I need not because I don't know. I'm sure some people are here to understand the rationale why. Because some people just want to go directly to the client like that. Can you explain why you think it's important, to go through the agencies?
Okay, because when you're a one man band, it's very easy for a client to push you aside. Everything in life has its pros and cons. When you work with an agency, you're working with a group of people, people that are held accountable for what they do. If I'm bugging you to give me something, you don't give me, I go to your boss. And I need, so I know there's a hierarchy of authority. And if things are not working, I know where to go to. When it's just one person per course, but it depends on if the person is really good. I'm bringing the person to my team right away. I'm not going to keep you out there, and I'll bring you in and let's know that we're working together, working in the same company. But with an agency, if I need to ask my money back, they give my money back. If I'm angry, I know who to call. There's a level of accountability that goes with the agency. So the bigger the company, the more comfortable they are working with agencies that have
structured agencies.
Yes, I have professional.
Right. Okay. Another person here says, are there scripts that should be tailor-made for male voiceover artists and female voiceover artists? Are there scripts that are peculiar?
That's your question.
Sorry?
Is you that answer that question now?
Well, yeah, I can.
Yeah, because for me, as long as the voice is communicating,
yes. So let me help the person answer the question. Right? Here's it. When a script is written, right? One of the things she said was you must understand the personality of the brand. Sometimes, as an agency or a creative agency or a production house, you must go as deep as asking, is this a male brand or a female brand? Is it male or female? Sometimes it can be unisex, right? However, what they are trying to communicate at that point in time, how best will it be communicated? For example, if something that has to do with authority, and you want to establish something that is being said, once he has to do with authority, he has to be like a man. He has to be the man saying it. But if you want people to be more empathetic, listening to that information, it has to come from a nice woman's voice, a female voice. So sometimes the scripts are let me put it like this: the scripts can be part time. How the scripts are fashioned determine the voice that is used. Sometimes it's actually the brand itself, the brand personality itself. It might actually be, for example, you can't hear my kind of voice on an always sanitary pad.
That's for women now.
Now. So or hear Tolu's voice on maybe a Gillette ad. Yeah, some people say, okay, you can disrupt and you can do that.
It depends. I'm talking about my husband and saying, oh, because like you said, it depends on the script that is
yes.
And what we're trying to relay. And some scripts that either male or female can do, but there's some scripts that you can tell that this is a male script or this is a female script, and it can't go either way.
Right. Somebody said here, will be X says, how can a voiceover artist determine when he or she is underpaid for a job? Well, that's my question as well.
We will negotiate first. Clients will negotiate with you. Whatever you pay, you pay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But really, there are ranges. There are ranges when it comes to paying talents. But that's a topic for another day. Emmanuel the Great says, shout out, Emmanuel. How you doing? How do you create and maintain brands? Toyota the brand and Lexus under Toyota as the luxury brand. But in case you're building such brands from scratch, how can they compete without clashing? Okay, what he's saying is, for example, you have FSDH Merchant Bank, you have FSDH Asset Management. How do you sell those brands without them competing?
In fact, those are even two different. The two brands you've spoken about speak to different target audience, because one is
exactly.
So that's pretty easy. But when you talk about a BMW and a Mercedes, they're both speaking to the same audience, right? And how you differentiate comes down to your USP. There are things that BMW does that the Mercedes cannot do, and vice versa. And there are people who are loyal, and something called brand affinity. They are loyal to the brand. So the brand has created a niche of its own. Given that if you drive a BM or a Mercedes, it's cool, but it then comes down to, I've not really studied cars, but from what I see from the outside, a BMW is slick, it's young, it's fun, it's fast. But it's more stable, it's mature, it's classy, luxury. But they're both very good cars, and it comes down to category you fit in. So I think it's great because it drives for innovation, but there are different types of brands speaking to different people, and the best thing to grow and maintain a brand is knowing your target audience and sticking to it, not changing, not being this person today and being another person tomorrow. You cause confusion, and your audience doesn't even really know who you are. So you need to understand from jump where you're going, who you're speaking to, and be consistent with your brand message, your brand voice, what you do, who you associate with, to build your own client base. I think that is the most important thing.
Right. Fantastic. People are asking questions here. What reality? But these questions are not for Tolu, actually. What realistic baby steps can one take towards being a voiceover artist? Go to follow the Voiceover Academy, and then you get most of that information there. Or you can join us on Friday. We're going to be hosting one of America's biggest voiceover talents, Joan Baker. So you can also tune in. She can also answer that question for you. But yeah, join the Voiceover Academy. You get more of that story. Okay, so I want to also talk about native voices. For example, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. People always, when people come to the academy, they always think that brands are all about English. They just want to, No. I want you to talk about it because you're a brand manager. I firsthand, because a lot of times people are they're so crazy, especially people that might not even be able to pronounce well or enunciate well. And you can hear that they are very good with the other languages, but they always they want to speak that English by all means. No. What will you, as a brand manager, say that, I mean, because I know that there's a market for it.
Yeah. It's, it goes back to the first thing I said, being authentic with yourself. In the Nigerian market, we have English, but we have Yoruba, we have Pidgin, we have Igbo, Hausa. And when I put an ad in the East, I'm not looking for somebody with phone. I need somebody with the Igbo intonation. And even with Igbo, there are different types of Igbo. So it depends on where I even want to put the radio ad to ensure that I'm putting their type of Igbo. And with the Pidgin, there's a level of, I mean, we had this recently. He sent me a video with Pidgin. There was one trick when I heard, I said, no.
I know.
This is Pidgin, babe. Because it was so authentic, it was real, she was flowing. And it comes back to just being authentic with yourself. Understand strengths, understand your, even me now, I cannot go and do Pidgin radio. I cannot do it because I will embarrass myself. I just don't have it. I probably can do English. But if you're good with Yoruba, be the best Yoruba voiceover artist. If you're good with Igbo, be the best Igbo voiceover artist. Just understand who you are, be authentic with yourself, and be the best you can be with whatever gifts you have. So it is very important that in Nigeria, we're looking for the range. We're looking for the range. English is not our mother tongue. It's not.
Preach.
English is just one of the many languages we have. And national brands are looking for voices that cut across the different ethnicities that we have. So it is important that we have the different voices and the different intonations and people that can speak the languages properly. Because if that's putting a Yoruba, what's it called? I am not giving that.
That's that extra sugar.
You are not communicated. And it's about communication, communication.
Wow, amazing. So guys, you've heard it all. Be authentic. Don't try to speak it well. If you're speaking Hausa, speak it well. Don't try to sound like you are, I don't know why a lot of people do that. I practically beg people that, see, this is your voice, eh? For example, the girl that the lady you're talking about the Pidgin voice that you were talking about, when she first came to the academy, she will be speaking one kind of nice English like this. I was like, nah, one day I heard her speak Pidgin, I said, my God, that is a solid Pidgin voice. So immediately that brief came in, I just thought about her, but I thought about another person as well. But I knew she was going to get the job. I knew it. I knew. So even before I sent it to you, I knew you were going to pick her.
Yeah.
So I didn't even disturb her. So when you put it and you put it in capital letters, I said, yeah, you see what I'm talking about. So it's very, very important that you're authentic. Don't try to copy another person. Don't try to be like another person. Let's now go a bit into brand management. When it comes to all the brands that you've probably tried to manage, that you've managed through the years, which has been very tasking. It's what industry is it? FMCG, financial services, because you've gone the whole, food, the whole 9 yards,
Well, it depends. Because I like to work hard. So working hard is, it's part of what I do. But I'll say food. FMCG. Food was probably one of the most challenging ones. Because in everything that I do in marketing, it's about budget and mathematics and understanding how to sell and make profit. I don't know every day.
Right.
Money.
Bottom line.
It's about the bottom line. And understanding your product, understanding the margins that you're getting, understanding how many pizzas you have to sell or how many ice creams or the different costs for the different types of pizzas, because each pizza has its own cost and has its own profit. And then as a marketing person, I need to choose the most profitable pizza to push out more, do different promotions to sale on the most profitable pizzas or ice cream. So it was a bit and also on trying to get the management to understand that with food is more emotive than anything else. It's about seeing. They have to see what they eat. They have to, because like we said, pizza is a want. Pizza they need. Ice cream is a want. People don't have. They don't have. They won't die if they don't eat ice cream.
Right.
So
That's true.
the way you advertise ice cream, not the way you advertise pizza. People will eat pizza if they are hungry. And even that as well in the Nigerian market at the time, pizza was just being introduced to a lot of people. People don't understand bread and cheese. So it was a lot of, first of all, first movers advantage, because they were the first pizza brand to come into Nigeria and really try to break that barrier. Then also trying to push the profitability, trying to increase sale. And for example, Ibadan will use a pizza and ice cream. Because we were both in the same building, they will buy ice cream, take pizza, and dip it inside the ice cream and be eating. So we had to start educating people, saying, okay, yeah, you can if you like it like that. That's fine. But that's not the way you eat it, So it was fun, was a bit challenging. And I think the most challenging thing about brand management and marketing is convincing management on spend. Now, Nigeria expensive places to drive advertising and marketing. It is so expensive. And most people don't understand that you have to spend money to make money. It's a very competitive landscape. You have to push top of mind before you can be considered. If they don't know you, they can't consider you. With most of the brands I've worked with, we have to first be visible before we can compete. And being visible means you have to invest a lot of money on visibility. Radios and all these kind of things. It is quite expensive. So getting managers to understand that they have to first sink money in. Before you start getting funds, it's a whole different psychological ball.
Right.
So that's and it happens across. It happens in any industry. Money is always an issue because people understand what am I spending for, but it actually does.
Wow. This one is a. You should turn to a master class. You guys, you have to. Yeah, Pastor Tolu is giving you master class message here. Okay, so there's another thing I wanted to ask, which was the fact that what advice would you give to maybe like an SME brand, which that is trying to work with that is trying to be top of mind, right? So let's use a brand that is still, relatively okay, maybe with like a 30 million turnover, and they want to advertise, for example, on radio, right? What like times would you? Okay, let me create a brief, or let me create the brand itself. So it's an SME brand. One of this, say, maybe digital savings apps, right? And they want people to download their app, or call to action, download their app. Let's brainstorm together. What do you think, for example, what time of the day do you think they should advertise? What kind of voices do you think that they should use? What do you think would be ideal for that kind of brand? Because there's some people here, one or two people here are like that. They manage like small businesses, and they might just need a bit of maybe ideas, right?
You should come and pay me money.
Yes,
I'm joking. With that brief, you see, it depends on who they are speaking to.
Right.
If it's a digital savings app of some sort.
Okay, so let's take it like they're talking to millennials, right? Millennials between Gen Z between the ages of say from 23 downwards, right? 23 downwards, right?
Okay, so basically, I'd say for that target audience, key opinion leaders are very key. They're very swayed and convinced by people that they love and they listen to and they follow. So the thing about marketing is that you have to be very, very bang on with your budget. You don't have a big budget. You have a small budget, but everything you do must matter. it must give you some kind of visibility of some sort.
Right. Right.
And one thing I also understand very well is negotiation.
Mm.
If there are some key people, and they don't have to be many, 2 or 3, okay, we'll make you our brand ambassador. This is how much we have now, but we can see the trajectory. We're going to be this big because that person has 500 million followers or whatever on the page. Okay, let's go into a contract, a 1-year contract. We'll be open with you. Give them maybe your business, maybe 10%. I don't know, but you have to be very, very bang on what you do.
Right.
That person that they follow says, I'm on this app, download now. Best believe that a good number would download. If that person is always talking about, oh, I'm saving money with this app, I'm doing this now, they will definitely try and they will start saving money. And what you want is for people to start saving money. So it goes back to how much money do you have? Who are you talking to? How can you get their attention? It's called top of mind.
Yeah.
And when I look at brands, I see every brand as my competition because if one person has 20K, they can use 20K to buy data, they can buy data, they can invest it. So everybody's my competition. Top of mind. Who's at the top of their understanding? Who's at the top of their who do they remember quite easily? So you have to go to people because everybody cannot go on media. A media spend is huge. You don't have that money, so it has to be digital. Or it has to be brand ambassadors that you believe that can, really influence these people. And you must give them something in return. Some are more reasonable and say, okay, fine, I'm ready to go with this company. I have maybe shares or equity with them, and they're really willing to work with you. So you don't have to be everywhere. Be one place and, milk that as much as you can. So just be really clear as to how you can get that attention first. Like I say, awareness will always lead to consideration. If they don't know you, they will never consider you. So the most important thing is they must know you. How can they know you? Once they know you, and it's people that they trust, they definitely consider you. That would be my advice.
Fantastic. Wow. That person must pay for this section. Okay, I think this question is for me. Hi guys, one more question please. Why have some brands used particular voiceover artists or voice talents for their brands without exploring other equally good voiceover artists? Do you want to answer that?
I think for me, like I said, I work with an agency I trust. I give a brief. They send me the voices. If there's a voice in there that I like, I use. But so many things. I can't be saddled with looking for the best voice outside.
Right.
I trust my agency, and I believe my agency will do that work for me and will deliver on the I have given them.
Exactly.
So only when I don't get what I'm looking for in the lineup that they have sent, I then go back to guys. I need more. So if you know you're good at what you do as a voiceover artist, I think you should make yourself more visible. They're like academies like Voice Academy and other voice academies. Go there, let them know that this is what I do, and then put yourself forward, and you definitely get more jobs once they push you because they have the connection to the clients.
Exactly. You hearing that? That's a good answer there for you. Okay, another person says, what advice do you have for anyone who wants to build a career in brand management and corporate communications?
Hey, get in there. Just start. I think it's one of the best. Well, for me, it's one of the best careers ever. It's fun. It's challenging. It's intriguing. It's just lovely. So try to get a job. Get in. That's the most important thing. One thing that has helped me in my career is that I never go in looking for money. I want to get my foot in the door first. Get your foot in the door. Let them see your work and see your creativity and see what you bring to the table, and try to grow in the system. And the good thing about branding and marketing, there are so many jobs out there that you definitely get offers, but you also have to be able to deliver what you say you can do at the same time. So one thing I also say is try to join a company that has that will give you a good understanding of brand management, so you understand the 360. And the foundation is very important. And I'm really glad I went to GSK for a while, because GSK really helped with my foundation in brand management.
Right.
Once you have a good foundation, you can build anything on it. But get yourself in the door first. Learn as much as you can. And these days, everything is online, really. So get online, get the theoretical idea, get into a company, do some practicals, and
Mm.
climb up the ladder.
Right, right. Okay. Two more questions before we round up. Wow, it's already 4:50. Okay, so music or voiceover? I choose voiceover not because not because I do voiceover, but that's for a brand. I'm talking about for a brand, music or voiceover. And I'll tell you why I choose voiceover. But what's your choice?
Well, I do like the jingles. I think the jingles are catchy. And it gets people remembering my brand. So I won't choose either or. Depends on really what I'm trying to relate. Yeah, what I'm trying to put out there. But they're both really good. They're both really good.
Well, I'll choose voiceovers. Why? Yeah, I'll tell you why. I think that yes, but you're correct, right? It depends on what exactly you're trying to do. But I feel like songs get people more aware, they get people very aware, which is very important. But I think when you're talking or you are doing voiceovers, there's more call to action, right, than music. Because when people listen, they just dance. Oh yeah. So it might influence them, but but very slowly, right? It might influence them, but slowly. But voiceovers will do this now. Call to action. Do this now. So that's why. Right. So that's why I would always choose that over that. And then the last question: do you ever think that there will become a time where you have let me put it like this, voice ambassadors for brands? So, most times people use faces, they use models, but like a voice brand ambassador, basically. It's never been done before, but yeah.
I think, sure, definitely. If an ad does very well and the ad keeps on responding to or giving me as a client what I want, I will lock that voice down and say, this voice cannot be used for anybody else. And at the same time, when a voice is then being associated with a particular brand, it is important that the brand is proactive enough to to definitely say, this is my voice ambassador. Because if that person speaks anywhere else, it's going to add some confusion to your brand. So I definitely going to get to that place. For sure.
Right. Fantastic. Wow. Okay, yeah, Joseph Benjamin, yes, we do. We should shout out to Joseph Benjamin. I'm sure
Hi,
you guys
Joseph
know
Benjamin.
the popular actor. Hi, good to have you. Yes, we respond to DMs. Okay, so any last words, shout outs to the VoiceOver Academy?
Great job.
Thank you.
Glad to be associated with you. Looking. We're going up.
Let's go. We're going off together. Yeah. Right. Any last words for people that that are interested in when it comes to branding? Because a lot of people actually don't know that you're a brand manager, very serious brand manager.
Well, I don't know what to say, but it's what I do. That's my
I know how you feel.
I don't really know what to say. This is my day job. People walk into my office and say, "You look like Pastor Tolu. Do you know her?" And I'm like, I'm her. So just be diligent in everything that you do, because in everything that you do, you're making God proud. In the workplace and church, everywhere that you stand, you're an ambassador. Try to do my best to be the best that I can in everywhere and every office that I occupy. It's important.
Wow, thank you so much, Pastor Tolu, or Tolu Ijogun.
Anyone.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on our live. We hope that we'll bring you to the academy someday to come lecture as well.
For sure. We
will not see now. We did. We full ground. we full ground. So definitely, we'll definitely have you sometime very soon. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Have a fantastic day ahead.
I sure will. I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah. DM question. Just go send it to her. All right.